So good afternoon and namaskar. Welcome to this third online session for the course on Introduction to Cognitive Psychology. In the past two live sessions, I have taken some questions which have been put to me during these live sessions, and I have answered those questions to the content of the users. This is the same pattern that I'll follow in this particular session. Learners who are enrolled for this course and who are online presently can put questions related to the course to me through either the YouTube session, which is running in parallel, and also through the chat box on this Teams forum. You can drop in a question on the online live sheet, and I can pick questions from there too. This is a wonderful opportunity for all those learners of this course who are eager to learn about cognitive psychology and the basics of cognitive psychology. And my job in this session would be to take your questions and feedbacks and suggestions and implement them in my course. Also, whatever difficulties you face while learning this course, my job here in this live session would be to address those difficulties. If you don't get the opportunity to put a question on this live forum, you still have opportunities to put those questions on the forum, question forum associated with this particular course, or you may also put a question directly to me through an email. The question which has been sent to me through email, I will take my time and I will answer those questions, as I don't have a lot of free time on hand, but I will surely answer your questions depending on the time availability. So I have people back and wishing good afternoon. So good afternoon to all of you who are here. So learners, this is a wonderful opportunity to learn. Soon we will have also the transcript, the verified transcript of this course, which would be available to you through the website. So you can look at those transcripts, and those transcripts are 100% error free, and that would also help you in learning. So that was the information I thought I would give to you. So Rishikesh, thank you and good afternoon. Also, Diksha, good afternoon. Arts and ideas, how many questions will be, how many questions in the main exam will be from the assignment? I guess that is your question. There would be a couple of questions from the assignment which would come on the main exam, but mostly questions which are in the assignment, those questions would be taken and new questions would be modeled on them, and those questions will form bulk of the questions in your main examination, that is the final examination. So yes, some questions would be carried from the assignment to your final question paper, but most of the questions that you have will be modeled on the assignment questions. So these are the questions. Earlier you mentioned about the transcript. Any progress on this regard? Most of the transcripts are done, so I guess it will be 1 or 2 days within which you will start seeing the transcript available to you. So, Oreo Olinair, and you have a question I wanted to ask regarding exam. What else can I study from them except from video and notes? There is a lot that you can study, but my suggestion would be there are a couple of books that I have mentioned on this course website, particularly the book by Galati, which is In and Out of the Laboratory, an introduction to cognitive psychology. And if you study that book, you would get a lot of answers to your questions and a lot of references in the video lectures from um the material of this book. So this is the base book that I've used for creating the materials of this course. So you can read this book, or there are other books that I have mentioned. Now these books are pretty cheap to buy, so you can buy these books. This will not cost you too much. Most of these books are cheap to buy, and by reading these books, there are sections that I have not covered in this course that also you can read on your own. For example, there is a section on brain and behavior that I have not covered on this course, and that section would be available in the book. So you can refer to these books. Now Disha has a question: what are the recent trends in the field of decision making? Now Disha, I don't work in decision making but from what I know, this has to be related to emotion and decision making. That's a recent trend. People are trying to understand how rationality versus emotion debate can be handled in the scope of decision making. Other than that, there are things like uh, decisions under uncertainty and decisions under risk. So these are some of the topics which I remember, or some of the fields which I remember, which were trend some days back, uh, maybe a couple of years back, which were relevant to the decision making area. I do not have too much idea about the recent trend. What you could do is you could uh, do a search on databases like the American Psychological Association database, or maybe the National Library of Medicine, the PubMed database, and they will give you much research trends in the field of decision making. Then the other question by Oreo Olinoyer, and that is how many questions. So you will have 50 questions in total in the final exam, and these questions are worth 2 marks each, which sums it up to 100 marks. So that is how the question distribution are. Each question carries 4 options. One of the option is the most correct and logical option as the answer to the question which has been put to you. Sometimes it so happens that you may feel that most all the options or some of the options are um, all relevant, but think logically. Think in that situation that you are presently in, how logical or what would be the best fit answer. So each question has just one answer, and the one that is the best fit by all amounts of reasoning is the answer for that question. Rishikesh has a question, sir. As today being World Autism Awareness Day, what therapies are first-line treatment for autism spectrum disorder? Again, Rishikesh, I don't work in autism, but from what I understand, mostly it is behavioral therapies that is being looked upon as solutions to the autism spectrum disorder. We also have some brain-related therapies. I'm not sure of this because I have not read about it, but by looking at the makeup of an autistic spectrum disorder, I can probably guess that some brain-related therapies or brain-related modifications can be done to handle people with this kind of disorder. But I'll definitely do a search and come up with answers and then post those answers for you related to how can the autism spectrum disorder be best uh, treated. Harshid Dhiman has a question. Good evening, sir. What was the pattern of exam in the previous years? Now, in the previous years too, all exams had 50 questions in total. Each question carried 2 marks, so that made it 100. The pattern of exam is some questions which come from the assignment, some questions which are modeled on the assignment, and a few questions which are novel, but it has the same concepts that you learn during your course is taken. So it is an amalgamation of questions from your assignment, very few questions, a lot of questions which are modeled on the assignment questions, and again a few questions which are novel but has the same concept that you learn. All these together make up your final exam questions, which are 50 in number. 2 marks for each question makes it 100. Chairman has a question. Please tell some more things on the exam. Is it said by you, sir? Of course, the questions are set by me. And what more do you want to know about the exam? I've explained the pattern, how to study. Now, the way you study for this exam is you should go to the video. Don't watch the video completely. Understand that these videos were made in one go, and these are kind of live lectures. So when it is a live lecture, there will be a lot of repetition and a lot of uh, redundant usage of words. So that you have to bear, because these are not wonderfully edited videos. These are all one go teaching kind of a video. And I hope you all have been students and you realize how the flow of lectures happen in a real-time world. So this is how the videos were made. But what I did was I took the transcripts of these videos and I shortened it out so that a number of redundancies and a number of problems were taken out of the video, and these transcripts will soon be available to you so that you can look at these transcripts. So how do you go about learning them? Look at the videos, pause the video after every 15 or 20 minutes, understand what has been said, think over it, and then continue. Look at the manuscripts, see what the manuscript says, and if you have time, also read the books. One important part is completing the assignment. If you complete the assignment and the videos together, then you will have a wonderful time sitting for your exam. I'm giving such an exam for the first time. Thank you for answering. So all the best. This kind of exam is a simple exam. No need to worry. If you have spent 1 or 2 hours per week for the number of weeks that you were enrolled for this course, I think you will do wonderful. The more time you invest, the more you learn, and the more better marks you get. Rishikesh, thank you. So thank you, Rishikesh. Oliner has a question. Also wanted to know what are the applications of cognitive psychology and what field it is utilized in. Now, cognitive psychology has a lot of applications, right from the management to the medical science. Cognitive psychology is about human cognitions. So basically, people from cognitive psychology is everywhere. You will find cognitive psychologists working with machines and machine learning. You will find cognitive psychologists working with designing applications and engineering psychology. You will have people from cognitive psychology working in the medical field, which tell the practitioners and the doctors how to deal with certain kind of mental problems and how to handle them. So people from cognitive psychology or cognitive psychologists are everywhere, right? It depends upon the specification and the kind of specialization that they're doing, that decides which field they would be. But the spread is all over, because cognitive psychology study cognition, and the basis of us human being is the cognition, which is the attention, the perception, the memory, the problem solving, and the decision making. 5 cognitions, 5 type of specializations, and this is how the human mind is made up of. So Mohammed Asif Raza has a question. So how many questions by the assignment to the exam? As I said, there will be very few questions from the assignment which will come in the main exam, but don't worry. Most questions that you'll have in the main exam will be modeled on the assignment. Also, a few extra questions, novel questions, which are based on the same concepts that you have learned during the course will be put, and you can answer those questions very easily. This has a question: how many factors influencing perceptual organization with reference to past experience and perceptual readiness? How many factors influencing perceptual organization with reference to past experience and perceptual readiness? Perceptual organizations are influenced by a number of factors. For example, with reference to past experiences, it is about how close the experience were and how better you remember these experiences. So that is to do with your working memory capacity, to do with the meaningfulness of coding that you have used in learning learning in the past, and and also it would be how close these experiences are to you, which basically means that how personal meaning that it would employ to you. So all these factors will influence how organization of perception or perceptual organization takes place. Now, how well you have built the past, or how well you have understand experiences in the past, and how nicely can you retrieve these expressions or these knowledge. All these combined together will help you in making meaning out of perceptions or meaning perceptual organization in the presence. So it has to do both with objective factors, the subjective factors, personal factors, and objective factors. So subjective factors are those factors which is related to how close or how better. Or then stimulus related factors is the novelty of the stimulus. Some stimulus have this novelty, and so they can tap into certain experiences in the past, and they can lead you to better perceptual organization. And objective factors are certain time constraints or other kind of objective clues which can help you in making perceptual organization. So majorly, I would say that two important factors which help you in perceptual organization, which is dependent on your past learning, is to do with stimulus factors and personal factors. So are you online? Thank you. Ashif, thank you. And Muhammad Asif, thank you. Other people who are here with me, I would also encourage you to start asking questions, and if possible, also give suggestions and feedbacks that I can incorporate into the course, so that other people who would go to learn this course would also have a good experience. Now, when I get suggestions and feedbacks from you, it is these courses are meant for you. So when I incorporate these courses and the suggestions into my course, it will be much helpful for other people who want to this course. NPTEL is also coming up with regional language transcripts of these courses, and soon I'll also be a part of converting the course into a regional language. My language is Hindi, so I'll try and convert the course into a Hindi language, and that should benefit some of the people or some of those students who started with the vernacular medium or the Hindi medium. So the more number of pointers you give to me as to how to improve this course, the better it will be for the future generations who will take this course. So thank you, Diksha. Other people who are here, please ask questions. Is there anything that I can answer for you? Now, I have limited knowledge, and I will try to answer those questions with the limited knowledge I have about this field. Although the field of my work is cognitive psychology, and my specialization is in experimental psychology related to memory and attention. Now, Diksha, will there be future courses on some new topics? There will be a course this coming semester on engineering psychology. The course will be uh, dealing with how engineering psychology, engineering not per se as engineering, but modifying psychology or um, fitting psychology in such a way that it solves the problem with operator machine interactions. In the world around you, you see a lot of machines, and these machines are meant to help humans. The problem occurs when these machines are designed in such a way that instead of helping humans, they become a burden on humans. What the course on engineering psychology would do is give you pointers and give you that knowledge which will help you in understanding the use of machine. Machines were always meant to help humans in performing a job fast. And to improve the interaction between the machines and the humans, the knowledge of humans' capabilities and limitations are essential. Once the capacities and limitations of humans as well as the system which the person is working are clear, a better way of interaction can be developed. Now I can give you an example. Let's say the door. Now, we all have seen a number of doors, and we interact with these doors. We either go in a place or come out of these doors. Have you ever thought the design of this door and the handle of the doors? Most door handles are made in such a way that they give you this feeling that what should I do with this? Now, suppose a door swings inward and it has a handle on it. Handles are for grasping. So if you grasp a handle and the most possible movement then you can do is pulling the door towards you. If the door requires you to push it inside, it should have a push pedal on it, a pressure pedal on it, where you can push the door. But you will find that these kind of problems exist. You would also see rotating doors where there are a number of 3 or 4 doors which are in connection and they keep on rotating, and you have to go through these doors. The idea is that these doors were made so that the air velocity inside the room can be maintained. How do you come out with such a door, and where should you push so that the door rotates? If there are no frequent labels on these kind of doors, what do you do? So a number of machines have a number of problems, and the course on engineering psychology would give you insight into what can be done and what design improvements can be done so that the operator of a machine and the machine, the modifications of the machine gives improvement in performance with also a better satisfaction to the operator. So this is the new course that I'm presently working on, and soon enough it will be live for you to view and enroll into. This will come in the upcoming semester, which is the July's November semester. So Diksha, I've also seen your course on consumer psychology. So yes, Diksha, thank you. There is a course on consumer psychology. It's a good course from my side. I don't know how people would take it, but that is what the course is about, and it teaches you how consumers and consumer behavior can be studied to make a better consumer-centric society. So your sessions are a great help. An MBA doctor preparing for UPSC CSE with psychology option. Thank you, Diksha. It's always wonderful to hear good comments from my students, whether they are my personal students here at IIT Guwahati or everyone who's a learner here and a student. You're welcome to write to me if you have any problems, and all those people who are here, they are welcome to write to me if you have any problem related to any concept in psychology. I will try to solve those concepts for you in the easiest possible manner. And always remember that I have limited knowledge about this because psychology or any field is a vast field. From whatever experience I have gained in the past 40 plus years, I will try to put those into use for making you understand those concepts. Rishikesh, for being a pharmacology student, how can I implement cognitive psychology into my course, or how can I do research in this area? One example in pharmacology, which I often teach in terms of cognitive psychology, is uh, something called belief bias. Now, you have a concept in pharmacology which is called uh, the so it's there on my tongue, but I cannot remember it right now. So uh, you have two groups, and one group is it's called the suggestion effect. So what happens here is there are two group of people. One group of people you don't give any medicine, and the other group of people you give medicine, and you try to see how the medicine actually works or not. And it is found that just the belief of people can sometimes make people better. The placebo effect, very good. So it is called the placebo effect. And so what you can do here is that a wonderful thing you can study here is to see how people's belief can treat them, right? It is all about the cognition. The more belief you have about a medicine, the better you would become. Medicines don't work on their own. There is some belief on some effort, cognitive effort from the side of the human itself. So probably you can design experiments to study how this belief, or the way there's another feature that you can study is how the doctors put things in perspective. So some doctors use a very negative remark in terms of treating patients. Other doctors are very cheerful and put up a positive remark. And the same medicine that the two doctors give to you have different effects. So a lot of the treatment plan, or the pharmacological plan of taking medicines, also work in terms of how things are perceived by people. So maybe you can do a study on that and look at how this kind of belief systems and this kind of presentation of information can help people get treated with lower doses of medicine in comparison to higher doses. I think that could be a wonderful study. So Akash Shankar has a question. So I'm preparing for UPSC ECE, but I lost my consistency many times in the middle. This is happening in 2021. So when you say consistency, Akash, what is it that you are actually losing? Are you losing the focus? Because that shouldn't happen. You are a student from ECE, so you are well versed with the concepts of ECE. Consistency, I guess, here is the dedication that you put, or the continuity of study. So you find yourself um, getting away from the course. Now, for that, what you could do is you can take frequent breaks. Now, I'll talk like a cognitive psychologist now. You can take breaks, and these breaks will help you to get your focus back. Also, distracting thoughts can be put aside by using various kind of therapeutic techniques. One technique that I suggest students to use when they're studying is, see, the attention that people have is limited, and it keeps on fluctuating between objects. You cannot concentrate on one object for longer durations of time. Having said that, the mind can have a number of issues at work at every point of time. So what you could do is take a paper and a pen, and while studying, whatever distracting thought comes to you, write it on that paper. You will see that as soon as you pen down your thoughts, which is interfering with the present studying that you're doing, those thoughts would move to the paper. It will move out of your head. Your job is, at the end of the study, take that paper without looking at it, tear it and throw it. And you will soon see that the mind becomes unclogged, and you will have a lot of focus. This is one technique. It's basically training your mind to divert your thoughts to something else. The mind believes that it is still dealing with it, but it is not dealing with it per se. It goes on to the paper. So these kind of techniques can be used for improving concentration and maintaining consistency. Also, what I would suggest is setting your goals at such a level which can be achieved. If you set your goal very high, obviously that you know that along the whole time that you have to dedicate yourself for preparing for these exams, you will lose focus. So set smaller goals and try and achieve these goals, and then you proceed forward. This is a technique I teach in problem solving. This is called the problem space method, or solving the problem using the problem space. So here what happens is a bigger problem is boiled down to smaller problems, and as you reach the goal of a smaller problem, you proceed to the next problem, reach the goal, and this is how you reach the final goal. So instead of putting all your efforts into reaching the final goal, build smaller goals, try achieving them, enjoy that goal, and then move to the next goal, or the next bit, or the next step in achieving the larger goal. And that, I think, should help you in focusing on your course and maintaining consistency. So I hope that helps. If you have other questions, please go ahead, ask your questions, and with whatever knowledge I have about this course, I will try and answer those questions for you. So we have left with 20 odd minutes for this course. So all those people who are joined with me, please ask your questions. I'm having a wonderful time. Rishikesh, thank you for being a part here and listening to my answers and providing me feedback. So all those other people who are here or from the same set of people who have been replying to me today, if you have questions, please go ahead, ask your questions, and I will try and answer these questions. So thank you, Akash. Other people, please go ahead, ask your questions. So people who are joining me, please ask your questions. I'm here to take up your question. And also one more thing, if you somehow missed this online forum, or you believe that you have a question and you didn't get a chance to write ask those questions in that live forum, do write this question to me either on my email or put it on the forum. I'll take my time and I will get back to you with the answer. So that is another thing that you can do, and for getting answers to your question. So for now, all those people who are here, please go ahead, ask your questions. I'm having a wonderful time answering your question. And as I said, I'm here for the next 20 more minutes. So please ask your question. Swati has a question. So sir, would you suggest some important topics in this course? Important topics, yes. Some important topics in this course, which are good scoring, is the topics on memory. So these are easy to deal with and they'll give you good marks. Plus the topics on perception and I'd say problem solving, perception, and expertise. These are the problem areas which are high scoring. Questions from decision making and reasoning require some more effort, but with more effort, you'll get more marks. So that is how the division of the course would be. If you spend more time on understanding the basic and the advanced cognitive process, you are going to get good marks. So that is how I would suggest the importance of topics in this course would be. So other people who are here, please go ahead, ask your questions, provide your suggestions, your feedback, and all of them will help me in designing the course better. So Swati, thank you, Swati. Rishikesh has a question. Are there any ways to increase the spatial memory? As we know, the role of Huntington disease and other neurodegenerative disorders. Spatial memory. So if you look at spatial memory, there are two ways of coding spatial memory. One is using something called the allocentric approach, and the other is called the egocentric approach. Now, generally, from what I know and my understanding says this, these neurodegenerative disorders affect egocentric memory the more. So if you want to improve your spatial memory, you can use a allocentric approach or use external objects to guide you to remember memory. Those areas which are related to forming cognitive maps or related to mapping the world, those get some kind of problem into both of these diseases or the neurodegenerative diseases. So what you could do is you can shift the forming of maps or the way spatial information is coded onto external fields. So you can use external landmarks or external objects to help you in remembering how you navigate. Now, the difference between the allocentric and egocentric is that egocentric people use themselves as the base, and from there they create the cognitive map or the space in which they are navigating. And the allocentric people generally use landmarks and external objects, and based on that they do the navigation. So from what I understand, if it's a neurodegenerative disorder, it would lead to degeneration of those areas which code memory related features or memory related information. And so one way would be to put these informations or to code this information into objects which are external to you. So there'll be some benefits, but there'll also be some losses. That is what comes to my mind in the present. Maybe if I do a little bit of more reading, or if you do a little bit of more reading, you will find more information related to how spatial learning can be improved in people with this kind of neurodegenerative disorders. Other people who are here may also ask a question. I'm here for the next 15 minutes. Please ask a question. Veera Kumar, good evening, sir. Is having a good memory genetics? So part of it, yes, but part of it, I'd say, can be improved. So what you could do is you can use a number of techniques of improving memory. You have heard about mnemonics. Most of you would have seen the series Sherlock, and I think in season 2 or season 3, in the first episode itself, Sherlock talks about the memory palace. This is a very good technique for saving information. And what happens in this technique is that people imagine a known space and a known area, and they code information in relation to this particular place that they know very well. For example, I would think about my room as a memory palace, and if I have a list of words which I have to remember or a list of commands that I have to remember, I will code this command according to the sequence in which they come in relation to the sequence of objects which are there in my room. And as I move through my room virtually or in my head, I will remember the command. So this is a mnemonics. So yes, part of being good memory is genetics, but part of it is pure work and using shortcuts or using known methods of improving memory. And that could help you having good memory. Other questions? If you are here, please go ahead. This is all very good. I'm really happy that there are a lot of people asking a lot of interesting questions, and I'm having this opportunity to answer these questions for you. I hope these answers mean something for you, and it's wonderful to interact with you online. So all those people, other people who are here, who are presently with us, please ask your question. Rishikesh, so thank you, Rishikesh. So please ask your questions. I'm here for another 10 minutes or so, and so you have this 10 minutes. But don't worry, if even after 10 minutes, if you want to ask questions, you can put that on the forum and I'll reply to those, or you can put those questions to me. I can reply to those questions for you. So I'm waiting for the next couple of minutes. If I don't have more question, maybe we can end this session. So other people who are here, if you want to ask questions, if you have some suggestions, some feedback, some opinion about the course, please go ahead, write these opinions. Okay, Rishikesh, so thank you. It was wonderful to know that although you didn't register for the course, but you had learned a little bit. I say to my students that even if you learn 5 to 10% of what I teach, my work is done. So my job is to teach you something, to make you understand something that might matter to you in the real day-to-day life. And there, uh, if I can do that job, I am doing good, right? And so if you learn a little bit also from my course, my work as a teacher is done, and I'll be greatly delighted to teach you. So thank you. What I do is, if you have no further questions, I'll try to wrap it up. I'll give you another. Uh, Please, if you have questions, put up your questions. So any more questions? People who are here, we are into the last segment of this online session. If you have questions, please go ahead, ask your questions. Swati, okay. So the question is, how many assignments are considered for the exam score? No, there is a logic to it, but I don't remember it right now. It says best of 5 best of 10 or 7 best of 10. I don't remember. If you look at the NPTEL website, you will have a clear idea, but some percentage of assignments are considered for the final score. Rishikesh, thank you. And if you have other questions, please go ahead. Other people also are here. If you have questions, please go ahead, ask those questions. And if you're one of those people who are not asking questions because there is a language barrier, if you uh, I have the skill to answer a question in Hindi as well, so please go ahead if you have a question and if you want to ask in Hindi. I am here to answer your questions. I am fully conversant with 2 languages, English and Hindi. Please, if you're one of those people who are not asking a question because uh, you would want to ask a question in Hindi, please go ahead, ask those questions. Soon I'll also be involved, as I explained, in turning the course transcript into a couple of regional languages, Hindi and English too, but some more languages. And so this transcript and this course will not be available in 11 languages. That will happen soon, but there's some delay to it. This is for benefit of those people who are learning things in vernacular medium, and as a country, we are promoting this idea of learning in vernacular language. So I'm also a part of doing this translation and creating courses in vernacular language. So I guess we don't have more questions. Uh, it was wonderful to talk to you all and answer your questions online. Since this is our final session for this course on Introduction to Psychology, I wish you all the best for your upcoming exam. Thank you and goodbye.